Report number 3. Filed by a gas station attendant 26 years old, working the night window alone at a highway station, the kind with 12 pumps, 1 employee, and nothing else awake for 30 miles. His statement arrived with an attachment, a printout from his register's transaction log. The log is why this report exists. The log is why this report will stay open.
You work a register long enough. You stop counting anything yourself. Ring it up enough times and the machine remembers for you. That's the whole problem. The machine remembers.
The night shift at a highway station is a science of small sounds. The drink coolers cycling on and off. Moths ticking against the canopy lights. The coffee machine reheating coffee no one will buy. 3 customers before dawn counts as traffic. He knew the rhythm the way you know a song you hate, completely and against your will. At 1:01 in the morning by the register clock, a man walked in. Work jacket, ball cap pulled low, unremarkable in the specific way that highway customers are unremarkable. He took a bottle of water from the cooler and a lighter from the rack, paid in cash, nodded once, and walked out into the dark. A transaction so ordinary it should have deleted itself from memory by morning. It was the last ordinary thing that happened that night. At 1:48, the door chimed again. Same man. Same jacket. He walked the same line to the cooler, not a similar line, the same line hitting the same worn spots in the tile. Took a bottle of water, took a lighter, and paid in cash. And he nodded. Not the nod you give someone you saw an hour ago. The nod you give a stranger. First contact, performed a second time, note perfect. The attendant made a joke. Forget something? The man looked at him with polite, total incomprehension, and left. At 2:35 he came back. Water, lighter, dart, cash, nod, odd. The attendant checked the register clock against his phone, because a suspicion was forming that he didn't have words for yet. 1:01, 1:48, 2:35, 47 minutes. Exactly.
By the 3rd time, I wasn't watching him anymore. I was watching the clock. That's the part I can't explain to people. The scary thing stopped being the guy. The scary thing was the number 47.
Between visits, he pulled up the door camera. The footage showed the man entering each time. It did not show him leaving. He walks toward the door, the frame stutters. 1 dropped second, like a skipped heartbeat in the recording. And the lot outside is empty. No car at the pumps. No car anywhere. 30 miles of nothing in both directions, and a man on foot who arrives every 47 minutes with exact change. Then came the receipts. Ringing up the 4th bottle of water, the attendant glanced at the printout, and the cold reached him before the understanding did. Transaction number 449T. He checked the spike where he'd filed the earlier receipts. 4491. 449. 449 and 1. 4 sales. 1 transaction. The register, the machine that remembers so you don't have to, was refusing to count them as separate events. As far as the machine was concerned, the same moment kept walking through the door. At 4:09, the 5th visit, the attendant broke his own rule about night customers, the rule that says you take the cash and you don't ask. The man set the bottle on the counter, and the attendant heard himself say it, "You've been here before. 4 times. Tonight." The man went still. Not startled, still. Still like machinery powering down. For a long moment the only sound was the cooler cycling, and when he finally spoke, it was quiet and level and infinitely tired.
He said, "I know. Please don't say it again." He said, "Every time somebody tells me, Andira." It starts over from further back. And then he looked at me like he was apologizing, like whatever came next was somehow going to be his fault, and mine.
The attendant rang up the water. He says it was the only thing he could think to do, complete the loop gently, the way you set down something fragile. The man took his bottle and his lighter, nodded, a goodbye nod this time, the first one all night that acknowledged history, and walked out into the dark. 5:02 came and went. No chime. 5:49. Nothing. The attendant spent the rest of the shift watching the door on a 47-minute cycle, the way you watch an alarm clock you no longer trust, and the door stayed shut until the morning man arrived smelling of cigarettes and normalcy.
He said from further back. He didn't say from the start. I've been off nights for 2 months now and I still think about that. Further back from what? How far back does it go for him now? And whose fault is that?
Now the exhibit. The register log he printed that morning shows transaction 4491 recorded 5 times. Same items. Same amount. But the timestamps do not repeat 47 minutes apart, they run in reverse. Each entry is logged 47 minutes earlier than the one before it. The final line of the log, the 5th sale, the goodbye nod, carries a timestamp of 7:14 the previous evening. 6 hours before the attendant's shift began. 6 hours before, by his own badge record, he had even arrived at the station. The vendor who services the register examined the log and declined in writing to comment. The report remains open. Unresolved. A quiet one. Report number 4. This one is a joint filing, the only joint filing in this archive. The first author is a motel night clerk, 6 months on the desk. The second author, in a manner of speaking, is the motel's booking software. The clerk supplied the account. The software supplied the exhibit. Neither of them, we should note, has any reason to lie, and one of them isn't capable of it.
The reservation always came in at 2:13. Not around 2:13. At 2:13 and 0 seconds. Software doesn't do around. That's what I told the manager. Machines are only ever exactly on time. You just have to ask yourself what they're on time for.
Motel sits on 22 rooms and a highway exit, the kind of place built for people who are between other places. She worked the desk alone, 11 to 7. And every night, at 13 minutes past 2, the booking system chimed. A reservation for room 114. Same account. Payment authorized cleanly, every time. And then, nothing. No headlights. No one at the desk. No key ever collected. By morning, the reservation would be gone from the system. Not canceled. Cancellations leave a record, a strike-through, a refund. Gone. As if the night had quietly swallowed its own paperwork. When she flagged it, the manager shrugged it off as a software glitch with excellent manners. The money always cleared. Don't touch a glitch that pays, he said. So for 6 months, nobody touched it. 6 months is how long it takes for curiosity to beat policy. She looked up the account. A name, ordinary, forgettable. She searched it with the name of the highway, and the third result was a regional news archive from 2009. A woman reported missing on this stretch of road. Last confirmed sighting, a gas purchase 11 miles east, time-stamped a few minutes before 2 in the morning. The case, per the archive, was never closed. The motel had a different name back then. New owners, new sign, new everything in 2012. They renumbered every room in the building when they rebranded. Every room except one. Room 114 kept its number. She checked the renovation records to be sure, and there it was in the contractor's notes, one line, no explanation, 114 to remain as is per owner.
Up until that line, in the renovation notes, I was curious. It was a puzzle, something to do at 4 a.m. After that line, it stopped being a puzzle. After that line, the important thing became never opening that door.
She never intended to go in. Her plan, if standing in a hallway counts as a plan, was only to be present, to watch the door of 114 at the moment the reservation landed. 211. The corridor hummed with vending machine light. 212. She checked that her phone was on vibrate, and it was the last calm thing she did that night. At 2:13 exactly, the phone buzzed in her hand, new reservation, room 114, and in the same second, not before, not after, the deadbolt of room 114 turned over. Once, from the inside. A single, unhurried metal sound, the sound a door makes when someone on the other side decides you may come in now. The door did not open, but under it lay a thin blade of light, warm lamplight, from a room she had personally darkened at 10 o'clock on her rounds, the way she did every night. She did not open the door. She wants that on the record, and this channel is glad to put it there. What she did instead was quieter, and in its way, braver. She took the desk phone handset she carried on rounds, stood close to the door, and dialed room 114. Through the wood, she heard the room phone begin to ring. 2 rings. Then the sound of a receiver being lifted, and the hallway went very small around her. What came through the earpiece was not a voice. It was a road. Tires on asphalt at highway speed. The rhythmic wash of light poles going past. A truck horn, far away, Dopplering down. The sound of the inside of a car, moving fast through the night, coming out of a room that has 1 door, no car, and no highway in it. And then a woman's voice, calm, unhurried, almost kind, said, 213. And the line went dead, and the light under the door went out with it. She finished the shift at the desk with every light in the lobby on Donnie. And in the morning, for the first time in 6 months, the reservation had not vanished. It sat in the system, plain as any guest. Status, checked in. Arrival time, 2:13 a.m. Room 114, occupied by a guest the front desk never saw, because as she notes in her statement, everyone had been assuming the guest kept failing to arrive.
6 months, we treated it as a no-show. 6 months of the guest never arrived. That was us, assuming she was trying to reach the desk. Nobody ever asked how far she got each night. Maybe 213 isn't when she books the room. Maybe it's how far she gets.
The exhibit, then. A booking system export. 178 reservations. Everyone time-stamped 213 and 0 seconds. Everyone under the same name. Attached to the final reservation, a payment record. The card is real. The issuing bank confirmed, in writing, that it was issued in 2009 and has never been reissued, renewed, or replaced. By the bank's own rules, a card like that cannot process a payment 17 years later. It processes one every night. The charge clears. Somebody, somewhere, is paying for that room. The report remains open, unresolved. A quiet one,